So we've covered many topics on this channel, but this is something quite different. I recently got my hands on this thing. I know in the US, Nintendo had a magazine called Nintendo Power, and subscriptions would have promotional stuff like this, and they have been very well known online, specifically the Star Fox one.
What are you guys doing with Mario?
However, this is from Australia, and I can't seem to imagine what it would have been a part of. Inside, there's this thing, and this crazy poster. The old owner wrote, "Now that's cool." Nintendo 64. "I'm gonna kill you, Mario." "Not if I kill you first, Bowser." Cool staff. I don't know, this came from the 90s. On the other side, we have a list of upcoming products. This guy said, Wave Race is okay. Mario Kart 64 is good. And inside the box, we have the tape itself. God, it's been forever since I've seen one of these. Anyway, let's see if we can find out what this is all about. Yep, that's the classic Nintendo 64 logo. It's still going. Still going.
Hi, I'm Ken Lobb.
Hi, Ken
I'm
Lobb.
the Treehouse. This is Nintendo's top secret R&D facility here in Redmond, Washington. I'm here to tell you about the Nintendo 64 hardware. I'd like to tell you about all the technical specs and, well, actually nobody really cares about technical specs. What matters is...
Yeah, this is 1997. Nobody talks about anything but the technical specs. 32-bit CD-ROM drive, 64-bit, do the math. Not that anyone knew what that meant back then.
This is the N64 game console. It may be smaller than the Super Nintendo, but believe me, this baby is packed with power. And here we have the cartridge slot. As you probably already know, Nintendo is dedicated to the speed of pure silicon. There's only one reason. Better games. You get bigger environments where you have instantaneous access through large 3D worlds. And just as important, you will never see. Now loading. Please wait. And here we have the expansion port. This allows you to upgrade the RAM of the system. There's some other things we can do with this port, but we can't talk about that right now.
Other things we can do with this port? That's the first thing I'm hearing. I mean, I just want to play Perfect Dark, but I can't do it unless I get the RAM expansion. By the way, that's like what, $40 to $50 on eBay, just to support a couple of games. Play the good old Perfect Dark, Donkey Kong, Majora's Mask. Oh wait, I have that on the Wii U.
I'd like you to notice that we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We feel that today's action games, sports games, fighting games, racing games, they all benefit from 4-player simultaneous play.
And with the Nintendo 64,
You don't need a tab.
and here we have the new controller. This innovative design will revolutionize the way people play video games.
I don't know, but if you ask me, this thing looks more like some sort of weird spaceship than a game controller. Take me to your leader.
Analog style of control with the ability to move in true 3D, where the analog stick can read not only which direction you're going in, but the amount of distance you move the stick will apply force. This gives you the ability to do things like measure walking and running or jogging. I could use it for a flying game like a traditional flight stick in an airplane. In the case of the Mario game, the Z button is actually used to get Mario to duck or crawl. 3D control.
Whoa, back it up there, buddy.
3D world. Here we have the memory pack. Fits in here. We're using this to replace traditional battery-backed RAM in our cartridges. There are several advantages to having the memory pack in the controller as opposed to in the cartridge. The main is, the memory pack will allow you to save several different games on one memory pack. There's other very new and exciting things you can do with the memory pack though. Let's say I have a baseball game and I have all the stats for my Mariners. I go to my friend's house, he has his controller with his memory pack, and I challenge him to play against my team by bringing my controller. Now let's go to a little demo of some of the games that will be available for the Nintendo 64. While you're watching these products, remember, fun is the name of the game.
Hello!
So let me jump into the game. You notice that Mario's standing in this huge field outside of a big castle. Now if I take the control stick and I just move it a little bit, you notice that Mario starts to tiptoe. I move a little bit farther, Mario starts this kind of slow walk. Crank it and he goes full out sprint. Whip it in circles.
360.
Mario can walk at different speeds? This is the coolest thing ever! You know, I'm pretty sure that one moment was taken from a different promotional video that was in Nintendo Power. I'm not sure, I'm gonna have to double check.
What kind of skills do you have, little man?
Now that I'm inside of the castle, before I go show you a level, I'd like to show you some of the cool things that Mario can do. I'm sure you've seen traditional Mario games. You know that Mario can do things like climb and jump on enemies, but now Mario's got some stunts.
Check out Mario, man, doing those backflips.
I push the Z and then push jump. Mario does a layout double backflip. Do things by hanging on ledges. I can do a ton of stuff with Mario.
Did you see that?
Yo, you see the way he went to that door?
I'm kidding.
I mean, I'm not calling them unintelligent, but those guys seem to be really easily impressed with being able to side flip, back flip, and open a door. It's like they've never seen someone open a door before.
The control stick is cool. It actually allows full 360-degree control.
Hey, how'd you do that?
Actually, it was pretty hard. We had a bunch of R&D guys with busted heads. This level's kind of cool because there's swimming levels in the game, there's snow levels, there's other stuff. This level actually involves swimming as well as kind of some traditional platform stuff. However, now it's all happening in a 3D world.
That's awesome.
Okay, what's with the weird editing?
That was smooth.
You know, I wonder what methods they use to actually record gameplay. Do they, like, plug the N64 into a VCR? Oh, wait.
I'm not going to go all the way through this level, but I just want to show you some of the cool things you can do in here.
Give him a toss, man. He ain't nothing.
I can go on for about the next 20 hours telling you about Mario 64, but I think it's time we move on to Armand, who's going to show you Pilot Wings.
Now that you just finished playing Mario and done a crash course in Technobabble 101, it's time to talk fun. What's really different about Pilot Wings is that you get to deal with more than just airplanes. You've got hang gliders, you've got rocket packs, and you've got
Oh, cool, a game I actually don't know that much about.
unique flight simming game you've ever played in your life. When you're playing the game, you feel like that you're actually in the game. For example, in this hang glider level, there's going to be some rings you got to fly through. That's the first part of it. Now you got to be sure that you're making yourself steer really steady because the mountains are in close, okay? Now when you go through all the rings, make the feeling of yourself being in a real-time 3D environment. The Jungle Hopper. Haha, that's one of my favorites.
Oh my gosh, it's War Stars!
Well, I guess you two guys are here to see Star Wars Shadows of the Empire. I guess I'll cut to the chase and get right to the game, which is my favorite part. One of the really unique things about Star Wars is that there are several...
In 20 years' time, we're gonna have like an upload patch, like you bring your cartridge into the game store, and then like you plug it in, and then they add a patch for episode 8, where you can destroy everything by hyper jumping into the Star Destroyer.
Speeder bike across the land. And one of the coolest parts in the game that I really like is these big walker guys.
Mr. Stark! Remember the old movie with the snow planet? And the big walking thingies! This guy doesn't even know what an AT-AT is.
You can actually fly around them and wrap them up with a tow hitch. And you can circle them just like in the movie. And then you can trip them up. I love that part.
Oh, okay. So to make these games, you gotta practice
In real 3D,
moitering
so I can
each
look
other
around
with
from anywhere I want.
lightsabers.
But I can also aim and shoot up at enemies that are high, low. I can strafe and run and shoot in different directions.
You're out there, Henry.
In and out. You can watch the guy from a third-person view, or you can actually watch from a first-person view. Here I have to destroy all these TIE fighters, watch out for asteroids. As you can see, the explosions here are just as good as the other level.
Oh, those are 3 great games.
We've only scraped the surface.
There's more?
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Was that Kirby Air Ride on N64? Wow, that's an unreleased N64 game for Kirby. I did not think I'd see that today.
Now,
Mario Kart R. Early version of Mario Kart 64, when apparently it was called Mario Kart R. Fortunately, Sonic the Hedgehog tried to copy them and do the same thing, giving us the old Sonic R, and that didn't turn out so well. It's good seeing early versions of games. My dog's sticking his face between the curtains. What are you doing there? Star Fox 64 got a different logo there. Whoa. Okay, looks really different. I actually got that game. 50 in development.
N64 rules.
You still want more?
Hi, I'm Ken Lobb, and I'm coming to you from the Treehouse.
Hi again,
Nintendo's
Ken.
top secret R&D facility here in Redmond, Washington. I'm here to tell you about the Nintendo 64 hardware.
Didn't we already see this?
Specs and, well,
This is the same thing we saw at the beginning!
What matters is fun. We don't call it the fun machine for nothing. This is the N64 game console. It may be smaller than the Super Nintendo, but believe me, this baby is packed.
It's all the same stuff all over again. This is a VHS, they don't loop. And it repeats 5 times before the tape actually ends. My theory is perhaps this wasn't for retail, but rather was meant to be played in stores or something. I haven't been able to dig up any info on this, but the only thing I could find was an eBay listing for the exact same VHS. Some of the clips are taken straight from Nintendo Power promotional tapes, and let's not forget the beta footage. Super Mario Kart R and Star Fox 64 would get several changes before releasing later on. Kirby's Air Ride would not see a release on the Nintendo 64 at all. In fact, it appeared on the GameCube years later. Completely unrecognizable. Something that intrigued me was when Ken said there's more you can do with the expansion port other than upgrading RAM.
This allows you to upgrade the RAM of the system. There's some other things we can do with this port, but we can't talk about that right now.
Which is interesting, seeing as you can't do anything else other than buying a replacement part that upgrades the RAM from 4 megabytes to 8, I'm not joking, and to do so you need to track down a remover tool, which an authentic one costs way too damn much! But you know it can do other stuff? The memory pack slot under the controller, which is famous for introducing rumble in game controllers. And then there's the transfer pack, which allows you to connect with Game Boy titles. I think it's really cool seeing relics like this from gaming's past, and I hope to see more of it in the future. But until then, stay tuned, and stay awesome!